Welcome to episode 13 of Bandwagon. I'm your host, Eric Nelson. It's really good to be back. I took a little break there for last month, kicking the tires on a couple of different music projects. I took a nice long vacation, and a much needed one. It was nice just to take a little break, but it's good to be back. And before we go forward, I do want to step back and say thank you to Dan Lyden, who was the last guest that we had on for episode 12. Appreciate his time. It was great to talk to him about his music and his travels and playing on the road. Um, and of course, I do need to take the time and thank producer Owen Justice, producer Lizzie Roberts, and our executive producer Skinny Webb, which now that I'm doing this, it feels kind of weird talking to a camera saying thank you. And I got the man right here next to me, to my left. So thank you for being here. It's good to have you here. And
you're welcome.
And with that being said, we'll just jump right in.
All right.
So, and before we move forward, I will again take a step back. Skinny here was on our first episode of Bandwagon, and how that all came to fruition was I showed up a few months ago at his place, his home studio, to go in and lay down some tracks for my upcoming album. And I started throwing out the concept of Bandwagon to him. And of course, I had a gazillion questions about audio and video and all that. And he said, "Hey, you just want to do it?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, sure." So we did. And we got to know a little bit more about you then as an artist. But the one thing we did do was play one of my songs, Angels and Devils. And I was like, we need to do something where we can kind of catch up where you're at now, but we need to play a song that you want to play, something you want to do. So that brings us here today. So how things been going?
Oh, been going great.
Cool.
And obviously the show coming along well with Owen Justice's great production here. Much better than my production.
Oh no, man! So. You were doing a fine job. This just happened to we fell into this wonderful place. It's already set up and ready to rock and roll. So
very professional.
So and we got to hang out at the live KMA radio show for the fundraiser
last Sunday.
For the Wabash Trace and the Admiral Trail,
fun.
And that was cool. And what's so nice about that is, a lot of the musicians and songwriters that we know are all under one roof.
Yeah.
And we all get to just hang out and enjoy each other's music for a few hours. And that's one of the rare times when all the musicians are all together and can actually watch other people and appreciate it. So,
exactly.
So no, that was a lot of fun. And that was really cool. And again, we took some time off, but right before we took the time off, I mentioned Dan Lyden.
Mm-hmm.
He was in here about a month and a half ago. And you guys did an awesome show at the waiting room.
Oh, well, thanks.
That was great, and great sound, and of course, great crowd. And Owen and Lizzie were there actually, and I'm going to say that's probably why it was a great crowd, because you guys were there, right? So, and hey, man, it has been a while. So, and you played last Friday, Owen, at in Des Moines.
Yeah, the Beer Can Alley.
Okay,
in Des Moines.
cool. And you got a couple videos that you're in the process of having edited and stuff right now.
Yeah.
So you've been busy too, doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, time marches on, everything marches on, whether we're all in one room together or not. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, so what have you been doing since then? I mean,
since the show with Dan?
Yeah, since then.
Well, I got pretty busy in the month of January. I do a lot of basically musician for hire, a guitar for hire work. So I got quite a few calls in January to do a lot of work, and constantly learning songs for those projects. And I did a David Bowie tribute.
Oh, wow, no shit.
With a band called Benny and the Gents.
Cool, that's awesome.
Ben Seif is the head of that.
Oh, wow.
Hence the Benny.
Yeah.
But he does some tribute projects here and there.
Cool.
Does a David Bowie tribute project, and it's really, really a great, fun time to go do those songs.
Well, yeah, I've never. That's the only David Bowie tribute band I've heard of.
Yeah,
to be honest with
the
you,
only one I know in Omaha for sure.
Wow.
So,
well, I mean, that's such a unique style and sound. I mean, that is. You got to be on that stuff. It's not like you just. It's very specific.
Yeah, those songs go from being the most simple song in the world to a song with 20 chord changes,
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
with jazz chords and extension chords, everything. So some of those songs are tough to get down, but and it's also when David Bowie wrote those songs, or a lot of those older songs, is basically fueled by cocaine. And learning those songs for a couple weeks, and then finally doing them, it kind of puts you in a bit of a slump, a little bit of depression until the show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, that to play that kind of music, and you kind of get in that mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when it's all over, the shows are always great, and it was a packed house and everything. But when it's finally over, you're kind of like, oh yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
back to normalcy.
So, what's some examples of some more normal things that you got going on?
So last year I worked with 3 different country bands a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of basically their lead guitar player for a band called Nebraska Showdown, a Garth Brooks tribute band called Shameless, and a female country band called Pistols and Lace. And we worked pretty hard all summer.
I knew you were super busy.
Fall. Yeah, I was.
You're out of town, traveling all over.
Yeah, traveling and doing some touring and things like that. Well, they abolished the company, and so they're no longer playing. So I was looking for the next project, and I was contacted by Lisa Larson of the High Heel Band, and so now my project this fall, or this spring, summer, and then next fall, and then hopefully in the future will be with the High Heel Band.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Doing a lot of shows around Omaha, and
cool.
They've got a possible show in Wyoming, and so a little bit of travel and stuff. Cool. Also, I've got my original band, Into the Gray. It's not my band. It's all the members of the band.
But, out of Kansas City.
Out of Kansas City, and we've done 1 album so far. Completed that album right during COVID, and released that a couple years ago. And just in December, we went back in the studio to record another album, and we basically got all the recording done for that.
Oh, cool.
It's in the mixing and mastering process now.
Yeah, I was seeing some posts of when you guys were in there. I didn't know how far along you were with it or not. So it's coming along good then?
Yeah, unbelievable. Probably one of the best albums I've ever worked on. I mean,
same studio?
Yep, same studio. A guy named Andy Oxman is the engineer there. Fantastic to work with.
Cool.
And stuff. And so it's just it's a rockin' R&B jazz influenced blues band, basically.
Yeah. Awesome.
And we've got Jessica Gray, who is just a fantastic
vocalist.
She can sing anything from Journey to Heart to Etta James. So
I've seen her a few times.
So,
you guys have played. She just belts it.
Yeah. Everybody in that band
so much control too. I mean, of her voice.
Just
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it keeps you on your toes when you're playing in that band.
Yeah.
Everybody in that band is top notch. Has toured and done a lot of different stuff with bands, been signed to labels and things like that. So it's cool. Interesting to have to try and live up to your full potential, basically.
Well, if anyone can do it, you can. Come on now.
Thanks.
So what about the Skinny Webb project? I know we talked about that a little bit the first time that we hung out doing the episode.
Yeah, the Skinny Webb project came from a project I did. I started about 6 years ago called the Aramita Project, and that whole thing started. Well, there was a January where I was not very busy with a lot of gigs and stuff, and so I was in my studio, and I just decided I'm gonna sit down here and record just anything and everything I want to record, you know, with no preconceptions of what it should be or thinking about what my audience or people listening to it would want, you know, just everything that I want. And I also decided I'll just play all the instruments on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm totally into Rush and Dream Theater and bands like that. And so basically it turned out being a progressive rock extravaganza.
Yeah.
And I released an album with that. Mike Cudley, a drummer here in Omaha, did some of the drumming on that. Cool. But he was the only person that actually played on it besides me. So that was a great project. It was like really cathartic to do something like that.
You said it was called the Armida?
Aramida project.
Aramida.
Yeah, and Aramida means hermit in Latin.
Oh, really? Okay.
The reason I got that is because that January that everything slowed down, I hunkered down in my studio and besides seeing people I saw every day, I was kind of turned into a little bit of a hermit. There was no gigs going on and things like that. So that's why I called it that.
Cool. That's very clever.
And so then about a year and a half ago, I decided I had some stuff left over from the Aramida project that I hadn't recorded yet, and I wanted to include other people in the project, so I got Jessica Gray from Into the Gray to sing on it, and she wrote some lyrics to a song, and I got Ron Wixow from David Lee Roth Band. He's played with a million different bands, and Matt Bissonette, who is currently playing with Elton John.
Nice. Bass player, right?
Yeah, bass player. Cool. And so I put that together and released one song on that, and it turned out great. It was a lot of fun, and
I bet.
Basically, so now I've got more songs to record, but just haven't gotten around to it. Actually, in December, I recorded a Christmas song with Ron, the drummer, and and also Critter Oren from
I saw that. That was awesome. Yep, he was sitting there in your home studio playing. Right? That was super cool.
So that was kind of a Skinny Whip project.
Basically. That was super cool. That was well done. That was very well done.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah,
it turned out great.
Sure did.
Cool. So that's that for the most part, I've spent 20 plus years being a hired musician, so I still get calls all the time to do gigs, and I've got a Elton John tribute band that I just
my God.
I did
sprinkled out on there.
I hated to forget about that project, but I just started in that, and I'm working up the songs now.
So you're going to be just crazy busy.
Oh yeah,
crazy busy.
Yeah, Barry Clark, drummer. Very well known drummer around the area, and Steve Reckinger is singing. So
very cool.
So that's an unbelievable amount of musicianship in that band.
Yeah.
So other than that, just keep getting calls every once in a while to do a one-off gig here and there. So I'm always ready and willing to do as much as possible.
Well, I'm glad you do it. I know all the listeners do too.
Yeah.
So.
I should mention one more band.
So how many? Okay, real quick, but I don't want to make you forget it. But when we last talked, you tallied up and you'd been in like 80 bands.
Yeah.
So now you're probably about 85,
about
86?
86 bands that I've been in throughout my life.
Yeah, through your career.
Yeah, that I've actually been a member of. That excludes all the get on stage and jam. I'm not including those.
So. You'd probably be in the hundreds.
It would be, definitely.
I'm sorry, no, what you're saying another band.
A country band here in town called Platte River Showdown.
Okay.
It's a spin-off from the country band Nebraska Showdown, and we're in the works of we've got gigs coming up this summer.
Cool.
stuff.
Nice.
At various places around town here.
So if I leave you a message and you don't get back to me within a week or two, I'll know why.
Yeah, exactly. Although I'm trying to get better at that. A funny story is Matt Bissonette, when I asked him to, or when me and Ron asked him to play on the last Skinny Whip Project song, he was on tour with Elton John. And he was more than willing to play on it, and but he was on tour, so he recorded it in his hotel room. And he was worried that he wasn't getting it done quick enough, and so I've learned from that. I mean, if he can be on tour with Elton John, and
find
get my
time.
stuff and talk to me, I should be able to get back to people a little bit quicker.
Oh, man, that's cool, man. That is so cool. But I'm not a bit surprised. I know I've always looked at you as a prodigy myself. I always have.
Thanks.
So the success and people calling you and wanting you to play and do all that stuff, it doesn't surprise me a bit.
Well, it's been fun. I mean, it's been a journey. It's a way of life for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a way to make a living. It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's a way of life.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So I do everything to be able to make music with as many people as I possibly can. You know.
Yeah, before you kick the bucket.
It's a journey. You never know when that's.
I know, right?
So.
Well, I certainly appreciate you coming on today and your busy schedule. And what song are we going to do?
We're going to do a song called Borsellino from a movie that came out in the 70s. It's a theme song from that movie of the same name, Borsellino. And Tommy Emmanuel, one of the great flat pick or finger stylists in the world that's ever lived, recorded that, a version of that. And I've got my own variation of it. So this is not exactly like the one that he did, but that's one thing that's been a big part of my musical journey is playing solo fingerstyle. And we, of course, me and you were talking before we got here that about Leo Kottke and what a great influence he's been. And ever since I saw Leo Kottke and Chet Atkins too, I've always been really into fingerstyle guitar and being able to play instrumental music on guitar without singing, things like that. It's something I basically work on all the time. So we're gonna do a song like that.
Cool. And I abandoned. I mean, I still use it very sparingly, the pick years ago, and just do fingers. And there's something more intimate. It feels like the experience of playing the guitar finger style. And stuff. I don't know. It just feels like everything's just more together. I don't know how to explain it, but
exactly. That's an interesting thing. I took classical guitar in college, and of course they teach you you have to use all your fingers basically. But I went from that many years ago to using a thumb pick. And I kept losing the damn thing, you know. And when you get used to playing with a thumb pick and you lose it, and then you have to go play a song finger style.
Oh no! Might as well not have your thumb.
So I developed my little hybrid picking technique where I hold the pick and then pick with all these fingers.
Cool. Nice.
So basically, it's a little bit of a different style than most finger style guitar players play.
And I the hybrid, trying to hold it, and it always kind of threw me. I guess I was too lazy. I guess more than anything. I got used to doing it with my thumb and fingers, and I don't use all my fingers. I basically just use these three mostly. But
you're great at it.
Thank you.
You're an influence on me as well. So.
Oh well, geez, Louise. Are we gonna hug?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming on, and looking forward to hanging out again next time.
Great. Thanks a lot.
You bet.